Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Thaneja, coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Modi and Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong launched the second phase of Bharat-Mumbai container terminals at the JN port. Indian economy sets eyes on faster track as GST Council approves two-rate tax slab, major relief for common man, farmers and industries. IIT Madras is India's top engineering college for the 7th year in a row. IIM Ahmedabad aims Delhi top in their respective categories. Vladimir Zelensky to meet European leaders for security support after Vladimir Putin vows to fight on. Donald Trump plans to hold more talks with both the sides. And in sports, India to take on Malaysia in the second Super 4 match of the ongoing Hockey Asia Cup today. A bond anchored in shared values, robust linkages and people-to-people contacts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held delegation-level talks with Singaporean counterpart Lawrence Wong at Hyderabad House in New Delhi. The two sides held comprehensive discussions focusing on avenues for deepening the multifaceted partnership. India and Singapore are marking their 60th anniversary of bilateral ties, and interestingly, it is Prime Minister Wong's first visit to New Delhi. The two sides, after the bilateral talks, exchanged agreements in the field of digital innovation, green transport, civil aviation, skill development and entrepreneurship and space technology. Addressing a joint press meet, Prime Minister Modi said the relations with Singapore go far beyond diplomacy. He also informed that India and Singapore have prepared a detailed roadmap for the future of the partnership.
आज हमने अपनी पार्टनरशिप के भविष्य के लिए एक डिटेल्ड रोड मैप तैयार किया है। हमारा सहयोग केवल पारंपरिक क्षेत्रों तक सीमित नहीं रहेगा। बदलते समय के अनुरूप एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ग्रीन शिपिंग, स्किलिंग, सिविल न्यूक्लियर और अर्बन वाटर मैनेजमेंट जैसे क्षेत्र भी हमारे सहयोग के केंद्र बिंदु बनेंगे। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि आपसी व्यापार को गति देने के लिए द्विपक्षीय कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट और आसियान के हमारे फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का समयबद्ध तरीके से रिव्यू किया जाएगा।
Asserting that technology and innovation are the strong pillars of the partnership, Prime Minister Modi said that the two leaders have decided that cooperation in artificial intelligence, quantum computing and other digital technologies will be enhanced.
टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन हमारी साझेदारी के मजबूत स्तंभ है। हमने तय किया है कि एआई, क्वांटम और अन्य डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजीज में सहयोग को बढ़ाया जाएगा। आज स्पेस सेक्टर में हुए समझौते से अंतरिक्ष विज्ञान क्षेत्र सहयोग में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि हमारे युवाओं को उनके टैलेंट को जोड़ने के लिए इस साल के अंत में इंडिया सिंगापुर हैकाथॉन का अगला राउंड किया जाएगा।
The Prime Minister also said that India and Singapore share common concerns regarding terrorism and thus fighting against it with unity is the duty of all countries.
आतंकवाद को लेकर हमारी समान चिंताएं हैं। हम मानते हैं कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एकजुटता से लड़ना सभी मानवतावादी देशों का कर्तव्य है। पहलगाम में हुए आतंकवादी हमले के बाद भारत के लोगों के प्रति संवेदना और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई में समर्थन के लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री वोंग और सिंगापुर सरकार का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
In keeping with the changing times, Prime Minister Modi said that areas such as advanced manufacturing, green shipping, skilling, civil nuclear and urban water management will also become the focal points of cooperation. This is Prime Minister Wong's first visit to India in his capacity as Singapore's Prime Minister. Singapore's Prime Minister's India visit coincides with the 60th anniversary of India-Singapore diplomatic relations, reaffirming the continued commitment of both countries to further strengthen partnership between the two countries. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong of Singapore, during his first official visit to India, thanked Prime Minister Modi for the hospitality and celebration of 60 years of diplomatic ties between the two countries. He said Singapore will continue to support India's skill development journey. Wong expressed optimism about collaborating with India to set up state-level skill centres to meet the industry needs.
Will continue to support India's skills development journey. We are honoured to accept India's invitation to be a global partner for the National Centre of Excellence in Chennai, which will focus on advanced manufacturing. We will also collaborate with India to set up state-level skills centres to meet industry needs in sectors like aviation, maintenance, repair and overhaul, and semiconductors.
In a landmark development for India's maritime sector, Prime Minister Modi and Singapore Prime Minister Wong virtually inaugurated the second phase of the Jawaharlal Nehru Port PSA Mumbai Terminal, BMCT. The second phase will enhance the handling capacity of PSA Mumbai BMCT to 4.8 million TEUs, thereby increasing JNPA's overall capacity to 10 million TEUs, making it India's largest container port. This milestone marks a significant step towards realizing India's maritime vision, fostering growth and strengthening nation's presence on the global stage.
दुनिया के बड़े-बड़े मैरीटाइम ऑपरेटर भारत आए, भारत से ही ऑपरेट करें, इसके लिए भी भारत में तेजी से काम हो रहा है.
As part of this ongoing momentum, today we mark a new milestone, the inauguration of Phase 2 of Bharat Mumbai Container Terminals at JN Port, India's largest container port. India and Singapore share a trusted maritime partnership built on shared ambition and global vision. Together, we advance green shipping, smart port operations, and regional prosperity. Embracing these relationships, JNPA, India's best performing port, now also stands as the nation's largest container port, handling over 10 million containers annually and connecting India to the world. Strategically located in Navi Mumbai, JNPA integrates road, rail and the western dedicated freight corridor, ensuring swift cargo movement to key industrial hubs. PSA Mumbai, with its advanced yard systems, dedicated freight corridor, renewable energy operations with state-of-the-art technology and smart operations, sets the benchmark in smart, sustainable cargo handling. This partnership reflects a trusted maritime bond between India and Singapore, built on shared ambition and global vision. JNPA and PSA Mumbai, empowering Viksit Bharat, one container at a time.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong for his words of confidence on India. Prime Minister Modi took to social media platform X and said, Singapore is a valued partner in our journey towards building a Viksit Bharat, developed India. We are committed to the swift implementation of the roadmap for our comprehensive strategic partnership with a focus on advanced manufacturing, skilling and digital frameworks. Unquote. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called on the visiting dignitary. In a social media post, Dr. Jaishankar said that he appreciated Prime Minister Wong's constant encouragement for the strengthening of India-Singapore ties. The External Affairs Minister also expressed confidence that bilateral talks with Prime Minister Modi and Singapore Prime Minister Wong will chart a roadmap for the contemporary ties of the two nations. DD India's Akshay Dongre joins us on the story now from New Delhi. Akshay, Singapore is India's largest partner in the Southeast Asia region. How far the agreement signed today will boost trade between the two countries?
Well, it's quite significant to see that the trades are already significantly high between the two countries. But the kind of MOUs that have been signed, it's not just about learning from each other's expertise. It's also about cooperating in those sectors. For example, when it comes to skills, that is one of the MOUs that has been signed. As far as the skill sector is concerned, there are several skill expertise in semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, where Singapore has world-renowned expertise which it can give to India. As far as space cooperation is concerned, India is one of the biggest space power in the world. That is something Singapore would be interested in collaborating with. As far as other things are concerned, there were MOUs on manufacturing, people-to-people ties, space, and different kind of collaborations that are already under process. Is significantly going to boost the trade between the two countries, but also to remind our viewers, Singapore is the largest, in fact, the world's largest source of foreign direct investment for Indians and for India. So that means that the partnership has already been quite warm. And in fact, this visit by the Prime Minister of Singapore is coinciding with the 60th anniversary of diplomatic ties also says a lot. In fact, it's quite interesting to see that exactly a year back on the 59th anniversary of the diplomatic ties, it was the Prime Minister of India, PM Modi, who was in Singapore, signing all of these joint collaborations, these memorandums of understanding in different sectors, be it tourism, healthcare, education, pharma sector, and there were other several areas of expertise where both the countries can learn from each other. The port development by Singapore and India jointly collaborating in this sector is also going to enhance the load taking capacity and keeping capacity of the ports by a significant margin. When it comes to the civil aviation sector, Singapore is the world-renowned leader in that sector as well. So there is a lot to learn, and clearly this visit is going to boost not only trade, but it is going to touch all aspects of the economies in the two countries.
Yes, Akshay, India and Singapore have agreed to continue to work together to advance the joint vision for cooperation with ASEAN and for peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. A word on that.
Well, obviously, ASEAN is our maritime neighbor. ASEAN nations are a great source of foreign direct investment, a great source of trade, both exports and imports. As far as technologies are concerned, ASEAN nation has taken quite a lot of leaps in that sector. Manufacturing is one area where the ASEAN nations can collaborate further with India. Singapore is one of the most important countries in the ASEAN, especially for India when it comes to joint collaboration, and Prime Minister has been focusing on the eastern side of the Indian borders, the eastern maritime borders of India, where there are states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, there is West Bengal. So all of these states set to gain a lot of expertise in terms of managing their ports, managing their civil aviation sector, managing their manufacturing sector, skill sector, that they can learn from Singapore. So taking talking about a bit more about Singapore, a country, it speaks its own record. Their own record speaks the efficiency of the country, with a country lesser, half the size of Delhi, has a per capita income of about $90,000. That is one of the highest in the world. The kind of development that Singapore has gone through in the last 50 to 60 years is something that motivates not just people in India but around the world. And the kind of joint collaboration that we are seeing is not just from one side; it's being reciprocated from the Singaporean sides as well. So the future looks bright as far as the eastern maritime borders are concerned, especially with the friendly neighbors and strengthening ties between India and ASEAN nations.
Okay, thank you very much, Akshay Dongre, reporting on the story from New Delhi. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Consecration ceremony of the Royal Bhutan Temple is expected in Bihar today. The Bhutanese Prime Minister Tshering Tobgay and Chief Abbot of Bhutan present on the occasion. Bolstering self-reliance in defence manufacturing, DRDO transfers 3 advanced materials technology to its industry partners. And India's Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav inaugurated Japanese firm TDK's lithium-ion battery plant in Haryana's Sona.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Tanvi Taneja. Major decisions have been taken by the Indian government to provide relief to individuals, common man and the aspirational middle class at the 56th GST Council meeting in New Delhi. The meeting was chaired by Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. A 2-slab system of 5 and 18% was approved. Rates on individual insurance policy, medicines and daily essentials were cut. We have a report.
The 56th GST Council meeting, chaired by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Wednesday, gave its nod to a simplified 2-slab system, 5% for essential or merit goods and 18% for standard items, with a steep 40% slab reserved for sin and luxury products. At a presser, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the main drivers of the economy, that is farmers and agriculture health, were the focus of the decision of the council.
Common man items such as hair oil, toilet soap, bars, shampoos, toothbrushes, toothpaste, bicycles, tableware, kitchenware and other household articles have all come to 5, whether they were in 18 or whether they were in 12. Similarly, reduction of GST from 5% to nil, 5 से 0 में जाने वाले आइटम्स इंडिकेट कर रहा हूँ. अल्ट्रा हाई टेम्परेचर मिल्क, द UHT मिल्क, छेना और पनीर, all the Indian breads will see nil rate. So रोटी किसी के ऊपर भी, चपाती और रोटी और पराठा और whatever it is, they all come to nil. Reduction of GST from 12% or from 18% to 5%. इसमें फूड आइटम्स बहुत सारे हैं, नमकीन से भुजिया है, सॉसेस है, पास्ता है, इंस्टेंट नूडल्स है, चॉकलेट्स, कॉफ़ी, प्रिजर्व्ड मीट, कॉर्नफ्लेक्स, बटर, घी, ये सब 5% में आ रही है.
The Finance Minister also announced reduction of GST on 33 life-saving drugs and medicines from 12% to 0.
Health-related items, 33 life-saving drugs and medicines and they all come down from 12 to 0. From 5 to 0 and 3 life-saving drugs and medicines used for treatment of cancer, rare diseases and other severe chronic diseases.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced that insurance services, which currently attract 18% GST, will now be fully exempt.
Exemption of GST on all individual life insurance policies, whether term life, ULIP or endowment policies, and reinsurance thereof, to make insurance affordable for common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country. Exemption of GST on all individual health insurance policies, including family floater policies and policies for senior citizens, and reinsurance thereof to make insurance affordable for the common man and increase the insurance coverage in the country.
The GST Council also approved a special tax of 40% on sin goods such as cigarettes, pan masala and gutkha. However, they will not be implemented from September 22nd, but on a later date, which will be notified soon.
That special rate of 40% has also been proposed and it's cleared. That will apply only to pan masala, cigarettes, gutkha, and other tobacco products such as chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, and BD. The changes in GST rates of all goods, except for pan masala, gutkha, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, products like zarda, unmanufactured tobacco, BD, will be implemented with effect from 22nd September 25.
The next generation GST reforms, as announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the ramparts of Red Fort on 15th August 2025, represent a strategic, principled and citizen-centric evolution of a landmark tax framework which will enhance the quality of life of every last citizen. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his happiness that the GST Council, comprising of the Union and the states, collectively agreed to the proposals submitted by the Union government on GST rate cuts and reforms. These revisions will benefit the common man, farmers, MSMEs, middle class, women and the youth. Prime Minister Modi said, and I quote him, "The wide-ranging reforms will improve lives of our citizens and ensure ease of doing business for all, especially small traders and businesses. During my Independence Day speech, I had spoken about our intention to bring the next generation reforms in GST. The Union government had prepared a detailed proposal for broad-based GST rate rationalization and process reforms aimed at ease of living for the common man and strengthening the economy." Glad to state that GST Council, comprising of the Union and the states, has collectively agreed to the proposal submitted by the Union government on GST rate cuts and reforms, which will benefit the common man, farmers, MSMEs, middle class, women and youth. The wide-ranging reforms will improve lives of our citizens, ensure ease of doing business for all, especially small traders and businesses. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal termed the GST rate reduction as icing on India's growth story, asserting that every stakeholder, every consumer stands to benefit in the country with these reforms. The minister urged all to ensure that the rate cut benefits are passed on to the lowest level.
Yesterday's announcements are game-changing and will play a very important role in the months and years to come in our journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047, but I'd like to continue to appeal to all of you. I'd like to appeal to all of you that unless we pass on all these benefits of GST to the consumers, and I'd urge you all to resolve that the entire benefit of yesterday's significant concessions and GST given will be passed on to the consumer. We will all ensure that we will buy Indian-made products made by the sweat and toil of our Indian brothers and sisters, made on the soil of India.
Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav also lauded the recent goods and services tax reforms, calling them a landmark move that will benefit every family in India, particularly the middle class.
It's a matter of great joy for all of us that Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has decided to reduce the GST rates for practically everything that is used in the lives of our middle class families and our low income families. Starting from food items to items which are used in day-to-day life, to students, items which are required by our students, to the items which are used in our homes, whether it is consumer electronics, small cars, scooters, everything is now going to see a lower GST rate from the first day of Navratri. I would like to thank Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for this big step, a major reform which is going to help each and every family in our country.
Ashwini Vaishnav on Thursday inaugurated a lithium-ion battery plant of Japanese firm TDK Corporation in Haryana's Sona, entailing an initial investment of 3,000 crore rupees. After the inauguration, Vaishnav said that the factory in Haryana's Sona is part of the government's effort to deepen the electronics manufacturing value chain in the country. All right, let's now connect to our guest on the show. We are joined by Sanjay Mangal, Chief Commissioner, CGST Meerut. Welcome, sir, to the program. First of all, what was the inspiration or driving force, you would say, behind the introduction of the two-slab GST structure? Also, a comment on the fact that the two-day meeting on GST reforms was wrapped up in a single day.
Ji, the work for rationalizing the rates and reducing the rate slabs was going on for some time, as a group of ministers was constituted by GST Council about 2 years back, and they were working on it with a lot of hard work. But the announcement made by Honorable Prime Minister on Independence Day propelled and galvanized the efforts. And subsequently, the meeting which took place yesterday of GST Council 56th meeting, all the states, all the ministers, everybody agreed by consensus to make the changes according to the proposal given by central government and which has been accepted by a group of ministers. And we are seeing this new regime in which the rates which were earlier in 4 slabs, 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. Will now be reduced. Will now only be 2 rate slabs primarily, with a standard rate of 18% and merit rate of 5%, with some sin goods which have been sin goods and luxury products which have been put in a special slab of 40%.
Okay, we'll discuss the various segments of the Indian economy individually next, but taking an overview, how far will the GST reforms boost the Indian economy as a whole, and how will they help Indian exports?
Look, the reforms which have been done in form of, one reform is in form of GST rate reforms, rate restructuring, inversion, whatever inversion was there in duty structure, that has been tried to be resolved and taken care of. And besides that, there have been some procedural reforms also, which have been done, especially in respect of registration process and refund process. So these reforms, especially the rate cut reforms, will provide a lot of relief to common man, to middle class, to small businesses, to farmers, to students, and consequently, the rate cut will lead to a boost in consumption by all these sectors, and consequently, it will have a huge impact on the economic growth of the country, and this will give a big boost to the economy.
Okay, yes, please go on.
As far as exporters are concerned, the council yesterday took some very good decisions, especially for providing relief to exporters and to boost their working capital requirements. As they took a decision that provisional refund up to extent of 90% of the refund claim will be sanctioned within a period of 7 days based on risk analysis. So this will provide a very good relief to the exporters, as they will now get their refund claim within 90% of their refund claim within 90 days. And this will add to their working capital and which they can utilize for their production activities and increasing their supplies. Besides, there were some other changes which have been done for those exporters which are supplying small items or small consignments through couriers and a postal method. Because earlier there was a limit of threshold limit of rupees 1,000 for claiming refund in such cases. Now that limit has been removed, and the exporters who are exporting with payment of tax, especially through postal mode or through courier mode, they will now be able to claim these refunds, because in such cases a very large number of exports are made but of small value, and now these exporters will benefit. Similarly, another relief has been provided to exporter of services, because there was a dispute about whether the suppliers who are considered exporters, who are considered as intermediary services, whether they are entitled to refund or export benefits or not. Now that provision has been changed, and now it has been clarified that such exporters of intermediary services, they will be able to claim refund. They will be considered as exports. This will provide a big relief to IT sector and BPO sector, and this will again will be a big boost for the exporters of services.
Okay. The unanimous opinion, Mr. Mangal, is that new two-slab GST structure will immensely help all sections of the Indian economy. Let's discuss these in some detail one by one. First, as the Finance Minister has said, farmers and agriculture, the main drivers of the economy, were the focus of the decisions of the GST Council. The Prime Minister had also recently spoken about putting the interests of the farmers foremost. So in what ways will the Indian farmer benefit from the new GST structure?
Tanviji, a lot of agricultural implements, the rate on those has been reduced considerably, and they have brought under 5% category. Tractors which are used by farmers, they have been brought to 5% category, and which were earlier under 18%. So from 18% they have been brought to 5%, which will provide a very big relief to farmers. Similarly, drip irrigation systems and agriculture and horticulture and forestry machines, etc., they have all been brought to 5%. So all these restructuring of rates for agricultural implements and agricultural equipments, they will provide relief to farmers, and it will boost agriculture in the country.
Okay, how is the common man going to benefit, sir, from these reforms, including in terms of education, healthcare and items of daily use?
For common man, I think a number of items are there, number of essential daily use items are there. For example, toothpaste, shampoos, etc., on which the rate has been reduced to 5% from 18 and 12%. And similarly, on health products, on large number of health products, the rate has been brought to 5% or has been exempted. And one of the major changes is regarding the health insurance policy, because that was health insurance policy was taxable at 18%, but now GST Council has decided, government has decided that health insurance policies for individuals, they will be brought, they will be exempted, and this exemption, this reduction of rate from 18% to 0% for health insurance policies, this will provide not only provide a big relief to the consumers for procuring health insurance policies, but it will also increase the penetration of health insurance policies in the country.
Okay, the council, sir, raised tax on sweetened carbonated drinks to 40%. What has been the rationale or reasoning behind this?
It is actually not an increase in rate from 28% to 40%. Actually, these items were already under compensation cess, which was ranging from 12 to 15%. So in effect, there is no change of duty on these products. compensation cess is now being removed from these items, and therefore accordingly they are taken from 28% slab to 40%.
And what about the sin and luxury products? Their steep 40% slab reserved for them?
Again, those items were subjected to compensation cess. So when compensation cess will be removed in future on these items, so they will be brought, they are being brought to 40%. But on these specific items, as Finance Minister has announced yesterday, the new rate of 40% will come into effect from a date to be notified. Until that time, these items will continue at the present rate with compensation cess till the time the money is recovered to repay loan and interest on account of compensation.
Okay. Overall, of course, these are next generation reforms, as has been told, GST 2.0 as the press is calling it. Thank you very much, sir, for dissecting the various facets of this GST 2.0 regime. We appreciate your joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's now get over to the international news of the day. French President Emmanuel Macron will co-chair with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, the Coalition of the Willing meeting in hybrid format on Thursday in Paris. During the meeting, the leaders will discuss the work on security guarantees for Ukraine carried out by chiefs of staff in recent weeks, and will take stock of consequences of Russia's persistent refusal to make peace. The group, which includes EU countries as well as Turkey, Canada and Australia, has been discussing how to provide Ukraine with military support after a truce to prevent future Russian attacks. European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will speak with US President Donald Trump on phone following the Paris summit. US President Donald Trump also said on Wednesday that he plans to hold talks about Ukraine conflict in the coming days after his Alaska summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin failed to achieve a breakthrough. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday that he is open to ending the Ukraine conflict through negotiations if common sense prevails, but warned he is prepared to use force if necessary. However, Putin reiterated his firm conditions, including Ukraine dropping NATO ambitions and ceding control over eastern regions like Donbass. While open to meet Volodymyr Zelensky in Moscow, Putin questioned the legitimacy of Zelensky's presidency. Putin made these remarks while addressing a press conference in China's capital, Beijing.
Well, the US president is not without humor. It's clear. We all know this well. I have a good relationship with him. We communicate with each other on a first-name basis. I can tell you, and I hope he will hear this too, as strange as it may seem, but during these 4 days of US-Russia summit in Alaska, during the most diverse negotiations both informally and formally, no one has ever expressed any negative judgments about the current US administration.
In Nigeria's north-central Niger state, at least 60 people have died and dozens were rescued after a boat carrying over 100 passengers capsized. The vessel departed from Tungan Sule in Malali district on Tuesday morning, heading to Duga for a condolence visit when it struck a submerged tree stump near Goasawa community in Borgu local government area. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency said emergency personnel and local divers were searching for the victims. The agency said that the boat was overloaded and collided with a tree stump, causing it to capsize. Now, flags flew at half-mast in Lisbon on Thursday after at least 17 people were killed and 21 injured in a crash of a hillside funicular railway popular with tourists, while Portuguese authorities began investigating the cause of the accident. The city's remaining 2 lines were shut for inspections. The line's 2 cars, each capable of carrying around 40 people, are attached to opposite ends of a haulage cable with traction provided by electric motors on the cars that counterbalance each other. As the cable apparently snapped, the car that was coming down the 265-meter slope lost its brakes and derailed on a turn, crashing into a corner building. Back to Asia, Nepal's House of Representatives has urged Prime Minister KP Sharma Ole to clarify reports of Nepal's allegedly endorsing China's Global Security Initiative and Global Civilization Initiative. The demand follows Ole's official visit to China, concluded on September 3rd, after which Beijing's foreign ministry claimed that Nepal supported China's security strategies and military cooperation. Lawmakers from both ruling and opposition parties raised concerns during a special session emphasizing Nepal's long-standing non-aligned foreign policy. They warned that any involvement in security or military alliances could lead Nepal into a security trap. Chief Justice of India, Bhushan Ramakrishna Gavai, is in Kathmandu for his first official visit to Nepal since taking office. He will participate in the Nepal-India Judicial Dialogue on Friday and hold a meeting with Nepal's Chief Justice, Parakashman Singh Raut. I beg your pardon, this name should read as Prakashman Singh Raut. CJI Gavai will also visit Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, and UNESCO heritage sites, Patan and Pashupatinath. The visit continues the tradition of judicial cooperation between the two countries, following CJI D.Y. Chandrachud's visit to Nepal in 2024 at the invitation of the then Chief Justice Bishwambar Prasad Shresht. The Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Madras, has once again backed the top position in the National Institutional Ranking Framework, or NIRF 2025 rankings. These rankings were announced on Thursday by Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, marking the release of the 10th edition of the rankings. In the overall category, IIT Madras retained its top spot, followed by the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, at second place and IIT Bombay at the third. In the university category, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru topped the list, with Delhi's Jawaharlal Nehru University in second place, followed by Manipal Academy of Higher Education taking the third position. In the management category, IIM Ahmedabad, that's Indian Institute of Management, was ranked the best management institute in India. The NIRF was first introduced in 2015 to provide a transparent and comprehensive framework for evaluating higher education institutions across the country.
भारत में जितने एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन है, हमारी अपेक्षा है आने वाले दिनों में शिक्षा विभाग तथा अन्य विभागों के साथ एग्रीकल्चर, हेल्थ, ये सारे विभागों की जो एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन है, ये सारे इस फ्रेमवर्क में धीरे धीरे आए। हमारी देश में हमारी खुद की रैंकिंग फ्रेमवर्क बने, इसी उद्देश्य से पिछले 2015 में इसकी कल्पना की गई।
Marking a significant advancement in indigenous materials technology for strategic applications, Defence Research and Development Organization, DRDO's Defence Metallurgical Research Laboratory has transferred 3 cutting-edge technologies to industry partners. The technologies span diverse applications, demonstrating DMRL's multidisciplinary expertise and its ability to meet critical industry needs. Partnering with established industrial players will ensure that these innovations are rapidly scaled and deployed for commercial and strategic use. In all, the initiative will bolster self-reliance in defence manufacturing and enhance the capabilities of key defence programs. And next we have an inspiring story of determination and opportunity. Millie Yabi, a 12-year-old girl from the remote tribal village of Sarle in Arunachal Pradesh, has secured admission to Sainik School in Siang. Sarle, a border village with a population of around 1,500, lies nearly 350 kilometers from Itanagar. Despite its isolation and limited educational resources, children here remain motivated to join the armed forces, inspired by the dedication of Indian Army personnel posted posted in their area. Selected under the Indian Army's comprehensive mentorship initiative launched in May this year, Millie Abi emerged as the first candidate to secure admission. Her journey demonstrates that with mentorship and opportunity, even the most remote villages can produce future leaders. This year-long sustained initiative highlights the Indian Army's unwavering commitment to nation building and its enduring belief in the nation-first approach. You're with us on DD India News. Are still to come on the show. Germany has been in the economic doldrums for 3 years, with recent data raising the sweat. The 50th edition of the Toronto International Film Festival to kick off soon. India's 14-year-old Madhav Gopal Kamath secures first position in the World Youth Scrabble Championship 2025.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Arey, it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on national.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I am Tanvi Taneja. Germany has been in the economic doldrums for 3 years, and despite the government promising reforms, recent data doesn't show much strength. Lars Wolter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin now on the story. Lars, hi. There was another meeting on how Germany can improve its situation. What can you tell us?
Thanks for having me. Indeed, we saw a rather impressive meeting in the banking sector yesterday. And the most interesting part was not about what the banks are planning on doing or how. It was about the general situation of the German economy, because it's in fact still quite dire. After 2 years of a full-blown recession, economists had long expected a recovery, but latest data says that the economy here is in fact still shrinking. Now, the government, in place now for almost a half a year, has promised to tackle the problem. They have promised major reforms, many billions in investment, and yet there is not much growth to be seen anywhere. Well, Christian Sewing, that's the CEO of Germany's biggest lender, Deutsche Bank, says that the government's reforms would indeed do a lot to improve the economic situation, but that they're just not being put in place fast enough. Is that Germany does indeed need an autumn of reforms. That's a term Chancellor Merz used in a speech last week. But he says that contrary to what we've seen in the past, these reforms have to be done audaciously and not just talked about.
Okay, thank you very much, Lars Wolter, reporting from DW Berlin. And now, very quickly, let's get you up to speed with some sporting action in the Hockey Asia Cup. Harmanpreet Singh's inform India will take on Malaysia in the second Super Fours game at the Rajgir Hockey Stadium in Bihar today. Team India has momentum on their side as they remain unbeaten in the tournament so far. India played their first Super 4 game against defending champions Korea, which ended in a 2-2 draw. On the other hand, Malaysia head into the game with confidence as they defeated China 2-0 in their first Super 4s game. In a historic moment for Indian Scrabble, 14-year-old Madhav Gopal Kamath won the World Youth Scrabble Championship 2025 title. Madhav emerged victorious among 218 under-18 players from 18 countries at the 20th edition of the annual tournament held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Madhav clinched the championship in the penultimate round, finishing with an impressive 21 wins from 24 rounds. Like every year, India sent a strong contingent to the event, comprising 12 of the country's best youth Scrabble players. Among them, 15-year-old Suyash Manchali secured 5th place with 17 wins. And the 50th edition of the Toronto International Film Festival kicks off today. DD India's Munmun Bhattacharya is there to get you the latest. Take a look.
It is September, and so the Toronto International Film Festival is back again to enthrall movie lovers with the magic of films. It is a special edition of TIFF this year because TIFF is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Currently, I am at King Street West, and a stretch of it has been transformed into the festival street for the 10th year. The festival is running from the 4th to the 14th of September this year. The 50th edition of TIFF kicks off with the official unveiling of TIFF's star on Canada's Walk of Fame outside the TIFF Light Box. In this area, open-air screenings and celebrations will take place, though the broader festival spans multiple locations across downtown Toronto, with various theatres screening films all across. But this is the outdoor heart and social hub of TIFF 50. The opening film of TIFF 50 is the world premiere of the documentary John Candy, Unlike Me, directed by Colin Hanks and produced by Ryan Reynolds. Now let's see what's special in TIFF this year. Let's begin with the red carpet itself. American actress Angelina Jolie will be there to attend the world premiere of her film Courtier. It is a long list of stars on the red carpet, from Canadian actor Keanu Reeves, whose film Good Fortune is premiering at TIFF 50, to Oscar-winning director Steven Soderbergh, whose film The Christophers, a sharp dramatic satire set in the British art world, is also having its world premiere here. Steven is set to walk the red carpet along with his film stars Mekla Cole and Ian McKellen. The festival is screening 291 films from around 50 countries. This includes 209 features, 66 shorts, 10 primetime titles as well as 6 classics. Out of them, 10 films representing 19 countries, because there are a number of co-productions as well, are competing for the prestigious Platform Award. This award recognizes and celebrates bold directorial vision and compelling and distinctive storytelling. Some of the films competing for the Platform Award are Steve, Hen, The Currents, Winter of the Crow, The World of Love, To the Victory, and Between Dreams and Hope. The head of the jury at TIFF 50 for the Platform Award is Spanish film writer, editor and director Carlos Marquez Marcet. Marcet had won the 2024 Platform Award for his film They Will Be Dust. Several celebrities are being honoured at TIFF 50 with tribute awards like British actor, producer, director and musician Idris Elba, American actor and producer Channing Tatum and acclaimed German actor Nina Hoss, award-winning Iranian auteur Jafar Panahi and celebrated Inuk filmmaker Zacharias Kunuk will be presented with TIFF Special Tribute Awards. And Canadian icon Catherine O'Hara will receive the TIFF Norman Jewison Career Achievement Award. The official poster of TIFF 50 has the hand's design on it. Now this design has been borrowed from an iconic image that first appeared on the original 1976 TIFF poster. What's more, the CN Tower that lights up to celebrate major Canadian causes is going to light up in gold every hour after sunset during the course of the festival. TIFF is celebrating 50 years of its cinematic legacy, so it is going to be screening 50 influential films that capture the impact of TIFF on cinematic culture over the decades. So brace for TIFF 50, a significant milestone that is celebrating 50 years of showcasing global cinema. With cameraman YK Loknath, this is Munmun Bhattacharya from Toronto for DD India.
So the 50th Annual Toronto International Film Festival runs from September 4th to 14th this year. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and the world on our DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.